Welcome to Silent Symptoms, a Black mental health podcast. I am your host, Katasso Fridge, a Florida-based therapist. This podcast focuses on mental health, stigmas, and social injustices that affect the Black community. This podcast was created to bring awareness about mental health and can be used as an educational guide, but this is not to be used as a replacement for seeking help from a therapist. I hope you enjoy the podcast. Hi, welcome to Silent Symptoms, a Black mental health podcast. I know you guys have not heard from me in a while, and I do apologize. Life happens, podcast is like a job. So you have to dedicate a lot of time in planning what you're going to talk about and also dedicating some time to actually record. So life was happening and I allowed that to get in the way of the podcast. And for those people who were reaching out to me, thank you so much. And I do apologize for the lapse. I'm going to try to do better, and for the rest of the year I'm going to pre-record and make sure I have extra recordings in case life gets in the way, because I know that life does. So today I want to talk about a video that has been disturbing and circulating around the internet about a couple that is mainly on YouTube, and they have been recording the birth of their baby. And in the video, they are assessing the baby to see how dark the baby is going to be. And they always stressing the word dark. They haven't said, oh, I wish my kid was lighter or light skinned. They always said the baby's going to be dark. Like dark is a bad thing. So you guys listen up and listen for yourself and make a determination of how you guys feel as far as the video.
I thought you said her color don't come in for a couple weeks.
But I know she's gonna have
the darker eyed babies usually stay dark.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I had blue eyes when I was born.
Sorry.
I thought you were gonna have pretty eyes.
Bright blue eyes.
She do got pretty eyes.
As you can see,
around
her nails. Yep.
Nose.
Look at her ear. Yep. You see it?
Oh, her ear is dark. Darker than Kyrie.
I think she might be like DJ, because DJ, he was dark when he was little. Oh. Yeah.
Her nipples even dark. That's how I know she's gonna be dark.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's here.
That's okay.
How y'all feel about that?
How I feel about that?
About her eyes being brown.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay?
She'll be a brown-eyed girl.
That's
David
okay.
thinks she'll be either DJ's color or a little bit darker.
No, she's gonna be darker than DJ.
If you look at her nail beds and her ears, she's dark.
Her ears. Look at
Her
her.
eyes are
She's
open.
beautiful.
She's beautiful.
Oh.
I love it.
Look at
She's
her.
yours. She's not mine.
Okay, so isn't that video shocking and interesting at the same time? So the mom just gave birth, and her mother and grandmother are in the room as well, along with her husband and the nurse. So the mom, is holding the baby, and she's hoping that the baby can have lighter eyes, because she came out with blue eyes and now they're green. And my thing is that, okay, so your husband is like dark, and you're really light skinned because you have a little bit of white in you going back 2 generations. And why was there an expectation for her baby to have similar eye color? I mean, I understand, because every, parent analyzes what their child could potentially have. However, like, just the way that they did it, it was just not tasteful. It was just disrespectful. And I felt bad for the baby, because the baby wasn't even 5 minutes out the womb yet, and she's being assessed to see if she's going to be dark. We're not assessing the fact that is she going to be mobile, or if everything is healthy. We're assessing her skin tone and how she's going to transform. And, the thing is, what was really bothersome, the mom was looking at the baby like, what the heck did I just make? And they checked her ears. They checked her nail beds. This stems back from slavery, you guys. So when the slave master would rape Black women, they would look at the baby's nail beds and their ears to see, like, at that time you didn't have any paternity testing, but they would assess the baby based on their skin color and assess their ears and their nail beds to see how dark they're gonna get. So we have to understand that this type of notion and this type of behavior should be unacceptable. we're going back trying to figure out how dark our child is going to be. And newsflash, sometimes a child's nail beds can be dark and their ear can be dark, but at the end of the day, their skin tone can be fairer or even darker. So why are we using that as a determination? And the fact that the mother looks so disappointed and her husband was helping assess the baby and saying she's gonna be dark, like he forgot that he was gonna be dark, or he's already dark. I mean, did he wake up and forget that he was really dark and that his wife is a fairer skin, but at the same time she has black in her, so of course the baby may turn out darker than expected. I think the expectation they had was a light-skinned baby with green or blue eyes. And the mom did an explanation saying that because she wanted her baby to have her eyes, because other eye colors don't get as much compliments as blue, green, or hazel eyes. So I mean, I understand that, but at the same time, that was not tasteful. And the fact that her husband went around the room to ask the grandma and the mom, which is the mom's mom, asking them, how do you guys feel about her eyes being brown? They're like, oh, we're okay with it. But the mom, the child's mom looks so disappointed. She's like, oh, that's okay. And the nurse had to remind them, which is sick, that the baby is beautiful anyway. Isn't that sad? Because they were doing so much analyzing that the nurse realized that these people are forgetting that no matter how dark or light the baby is going to be, the baby is beautiful at the end of the day. We have to understand that black women can make any type of baby in this world. Two black people can be really dark skinned and produce a baby with blonde hair and blue eyes. It's called the Eve gene. That's not the technical term, but if you want to look it up on the internet, you look up the Eve gene, that black women can create whatever they want. So the expectation for a baby to be lighter is what pushes the agenda of colorism. And we have to understand this is alive and well. So when the baby looks back, she's going to be like, dang, my parents were expecting me to be lighter because they were assessing me for how dark I'm going to be. Why does it matter if the baby is going to be dark? And every parent obviously wants to analyze who the baby looks like, what the skin tone is going to be, what the eye color is going to be. Is the baby going to be short or tall, right? That's the expectation. But there's a way to do it in order for it to be tasteful. And there has to be a way for parents to understand that if your baby turns out to be dark, your baby is still beautiful anyway. Some of the most beautiful women are actually of darker skin. Now, what makes a person beautiful is the fact that their spirit and their soul is beautiful and kind and respectful. And then let's have another understanding that just because a person is of lighter skin does not mean that they are beautiful. That exotic look that we expect people to have is not realistic. Okay? And there's some dark-skinned women who just aren't as attractive, and this is why it's important to have a preference of what you like. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but we have to stop allowing the media to push that agenda of colorism, and we have to stop allowing people to use people's dark or light skin against us. And the fact that the baby is just like a pawn, and then the dad has the audacity to say, oh, her nipples are dark, so she's gonna be dark. What I wanted to know, would the conversation still be that type of conversation if his family was in the delivery room? Because he didn't have any family members in the room. And the excuse of the mother, she said, well, I like dark people, my family is full of black people, so what does that mean? Most people who are actually black are the ones that are pushing the agenda of colorism. Light-skinned black women push that agenda of colorism on other people, and black men who choose to, black men who choose to, date women of fair skin or date outside their race, and they want to down dark-skinned women because dark-skinned women aren't seen as a treasure. So we have to analyze the things that we say and the things that we do. Because at the end of the day, everybody has a preference, and there's nothing wrong with having a preference, but we cannot down people. Now, just like dark-skinned women cannot down light-skinned women. For what? We all have to be on an equal playing field, and we have to expect our children to come out as they are. So now the children are living in a household where they're pushing all of this colorism onto them. Why are we okay with that? I mean, the poor baby. And they see nothing wrong with what they did. And that's the sad and the disgusting part about this whole situation. Because they did a whole round table and forgot that the baby was there. The baby was healthy. And they were happy to have the baby there because they were so engulfed in the baby possibly being dark. So disgusting. And the reason why I find it really disturbing is because they didn't say anything about the baby being beautiful till they were reminded. That is completely ridiculous. We have to literally get away from trying to assess our children for lightness or darkness. There are some people who are actually getting, left behind, or parents are disowning them because they're too light. So we can't forget that part, because some people feel like, oh, well, this baby is not my baby, it's a white man's baby. So we have to get away from that too. Calling light-skinned children white babies, when we clearly know those are black babies. So we have to continue to understand the impact that colorism has on people. People are not getting jobs because they are dark skinned. So if they internalize that from birth, from their parents, what chance do they have in this world? Especially if one of the parents is dark, but they fail to educate their children on the importance of accepting their skin tone. I don't understand what they were expecting. Like, they have literally went down to the color of her eyes, to her nail beds, and her ears. I cannot understand. I cannot understand. And I just want you guys to help me understand what's really going on. And this is why I tell people that colorism is alive and well. And we go so hard about this, because we have to have an understanding that that this world is a cold world. And if our parents aren't protecting us, who else are going to protect us from the world? And we have to remember, okay, if we choose to be with someone that is black, the baby is probably going to have some type of dark features or black features. If you have a baby with a white man or a white woman, please remember that your baby may turn out to be dark skinned. Your baby may turn out to be really, really light skinned and be white looking. So we have to have that understanding, and two dark people can make a light baby, and two light people can make a dark baby. Like, we can't really be that ignorant at this time. And the nurse is actually white. That's what makes it sad. She was like, the baby is beautiful anyway. And she says, this baby is yours, not mine. Hands it to the mom. Because mom was so disinterested, it seemed like. It's really sad to really look at this family. And, they do have other children. And maybe, I don't know what they're doing this for. But it was really distasteful. That is crazy. And I just want you guys to really listen and look at what people do. in their lives and how people present themselves. We have to believe people when they present themselves as such. Because I did not hear them at one point say, oh, the baby may turn out to be lighter, or hey, she has white features, or whatever it was. But they were concerned at the tone, like the dad isn't dark. Because if you see this family, the mom is really, really fair and the dad was really dark. I don't know what they expected. So we have to understand that colorism is alive and well, and we have to be able to call it out and educate people about what they're doing. We have to educate our family and our friends about the decisions that they make and the things that they do in their lives that are pushing the negative agenda of colorism. And we have to be able to call it out from our families to our friends. So when you guys have babies, please be cognizant of how you present your baby. Light skin isn't always pretty. Dark skin isn't always pretty. So we have to get away from that notion. Anything but loving your baby. So we have to get away from us trying to continue to do things with skin tone driven agendas. That's what we need to get away from. So if you have a chance, please research colorism. I know that I've mentioned it before on my podcast, but this really resonated with me so much to the point where, I had to make a video about it. Like, what do you guys think about that video and how they presented their baby? So reach out to me and let me know what the consensus was about the video and how you took the video and what that video means to you as a woman and as a man of light skin and dark skin. So please help me out so we can continue to debunk all of these negative things and getting away from colorism. I hope you enjoyed the podcast.
Thank you for tuning in. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. You can catch us on Anchor and all your favorite media streams. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Silent Symptoms Podcast. Let us know if you have any feedback or topics that you would like to hear.